Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome to the 4th International Conference on Applied Zoology 2021. I am here to present my research work entitled Toxic Effects of Malathion on Developmental Stages of Rahu Labio-Roheta. I have completed my research work under the supervision of Dr. Farmanullah Dawad and co-supervisor Dr. Syed Ishtiaq Anjum. Presentation contents. These are the contents of my presentations, introduction, objectives, materials and method, results, and conclusion. First of all, introduction. Malathion is an organophosphate insecticide that is used to control mosquitoes and other insects such as aphids, beetles, ants, etc. The half-life of malathion is up to 11 days and it degrades into malaxon, which is more toxic than the parent malathion. Malathion can contaminate surface water through accidental spillage, spray drift, and runoff following rain. Malathion is very toxic even at low concentration, as malathion can affect the physiology and behavior of fish and also alters growth, swimming. That includes irregular, erratic, endartic swimming and biochemical parameters. Labio-Roheta. Rahu or Labio-Roheta is a freshwater fish widely distributed in Asian countries, specifically Bangladesh, India, Pakistan, Vietnam, and Myanmar. Labio-Roheta is a bottom-feeding vegetarian, but the young fries feeds on zooplankton. Labio-Roheta is economically a very important fish with huge annual output and high nutritional value. Fish is an excellent bioindicator for any contamination in environment. Objectives. These are the objectives of my research work. Number 1, to assess the effects of malathion on developmental morphology of Rahu. Number 2, to investigate the effects of malathion on biochemical indices of Rahu during early development. Materials and method. First of all, collection of fish eggs. The newly fertilized eggs of Labio-Roheta were collected from Government Fish Hatchery, Banu. Malathion dilution in extract solution was performed with the help of 20 ml of acetone and 10 ml of distilled water. Experimental design. The experimental work was carried out in five plastic tanks with elegant inflow and outflow water system. In the plastic tanks, one tank acted as a control while the remaining 4 were treated with different concentrations of malathion. Observation of fish eggs. The fertilized eggs of Labio-Roheta were regularly observed at regular intervals. Morphological study. For morphological study, a light microscope was used. The fish eggs were observed, the observations were recorded, and their pictures were taken. Determination of LC50. My materials and method also include the biochemical analysis that further include total protein content, catalase assay, peroxidase assay, and glucose test. Results. First of all, morphological variations. These are the observations recorded after 2 hours of malathion treatment, where, as you can see, as a control, where all the eggs were completely normal and healthy, while B, C, D, and E were treated with different concentrations of malathion, where you can clearly see the dents and erosions on their surfaces. Observations recorded after 4 hours of malathion treatment. As you can see here, as a control, where the eggs were healthy and normal, while group B and C received 5 ml and 10 ml of malathion respectively, where enlargement of head and shortening of tail has occurred, while group D and E received the highest concentration, where you can clearly see the dents and erosion on their surfaces. Hatchling observations. These are the observations recorded after the eggs were successfully hatched. Here, A is control, where all the hatchlings were normal, while in group B, malathion treated group B, you can clearly see the abnormal eyes, while C and D, you can see the erosions from the erosions on the surfaces and margin, while all the hatchlings that were included in group E were completely dead. Graphical representation. First of all, total protein content. Here you can see that the total protein content increased considerably in total protein content in the control group, while The value of total protein content was significantly decreased in the malathion-treated group from 24 to 96 hours with increase in concentration and time exposure. Number 2, glucose assay. Here you can see that the value of glucose was significantly increased from 24 to 96 hours in the malathion-treated group. It also increased in the total in the control group from 24 to 96 hours with increase in concentration and time of exposure. Catalase assay. Here you can see that the value of antioxidant enzyme catalase was decreased in the control group time dependently, while it was increased in the malathion treated group from 24 to 96 hours with increase in concentration and time of exposure. Peroxidase assay. The activity of antioxidant enzyme peroxidase was considerably decreased in the control group time dependently, while it was increased significantly in the malathion treated group from 24 to 96 hours with increase in concentration and time of exposure. Conclusion. These are the conclusions of my research work. Malathion cause morphological variations, kill embryos and inhibit hatching. Malathion cause erosion in yolk sac in margins and elongation in yolk sac. Malathion is very toxic to embryonic development, even in small concentration. Malathion also affects the total protein content, glucose, and antioxidant enzymes. That's all about my presentation. Thank you very much for your attention.